happy to see you here as a female director. We have so few of those out there, and you're a female director who also acts. What advice would you have to other women who are trying to not only get in directing, but also to get into acting and maybe do a little bit of both?
Oh, I would say to every woman, just do what you want.
Yeah?
And fight for it. Yeah. There is no limit.
What drew you to this project in particular? What drew you to this project in particular?
I really fell in love with the script, and then also like I pictured Elle like in a set, and I really wanted to make a movie with her, and then also like I felt very lucky because she said yes, and then I just realized like I'm a French director who's gonna suddenly being like in Texas shooting a typical American story, and I thought that was so exciting. And then also like the producers wanted a female vision, and so yeah, I hope I brought some French spirit in it.
What would you mean by French spirit? What would you want to bring to this that would be unique to you compared to an American filmmaker?
Well, in French we're making like very slow movie, for example. We're taking our time to be close to the emotion, and then so I think the movie is really like a mix of looking American, also like taking the time to be very intimate with the characters. It's just like I did so many small things here and here, and I think also like I didn't want to make an American movie. I just wanted to make a movie. So I didn't try to make anything American, but I was filming American actors and also like American location. And then I think the interesting thing here is just the mix of a film and French vision on something so American.
What would be the elevator pitch if you had to pitch this to a wide audience? What would you tell them to come and see this one?
I would say just go for a ride.
Yeah?
With two lost souls who just want to get a new life, want to get a new chance, and how they're going to fight for it.
And if you could pick any genre to direct next, anyone at all, what would it be?
I will do anything with Elle.
Anything with Elle?
We need to figure out what the next one is.
So the same evening, that was kind of like crazy, and then we scouting together with Tyler. We went to like Galveston and Savannah, and then New Orleans, and then he asked me about the cast, and so I said like you and just you, and he said like maybe other option in case she said no, and I was like no other options, and then she said yes, okay, and then. But then first I arrived on the project and I was like so happy, and like I had like the best couple ever. It was like, okay, this is gonna work no matter what. Yeah.
You make it sound so easy, you know, particularly in this time.
Well, that was very easy. Making an American movie for French is so easy.
Well, interesting, particularly in so much conversation about women directors having a chance at the table. So it just sounds like no.
No, I was lucky because the cast is so important. So I felt lucky, and I felt like nothing could happen to me on set with both of them. So, but then the process of the screenplay was so we had the script from Nick, and then I was allowed to change things if I wanted, and then also like we rewriting so many things, the three of us. Like some mornings we were like arriving on set saying like, what about saying nothing? And they were agreed. They was always happy to just like took up some dialogues. And then we just built so many things, and we added so many things. I really wanted the audience to feel like her pain also, like, you know, sometimes as male writer or male director, sometimes, you know, like she can be on the street as a hooker and then it's fine, you know, she's fine doing that. So we were like adding, you know, maybe she's crying, maybe it's tough, maybe she doesn't want to do that, or she has emotions, she's, you know, she's a human being. And then also for Ben, like we just like always wanted to be close to their emotions. And I think the beauty of that script was also like, that was not a love story. I think the three of us loved the idea of this is not a love story and it's going to end with like a sexual scene. That was more like a very intense and pure friendship between two characters, very different. we were like digging on this every time.
Funny, as actors, is it different to be directed by an actor? Does that add a different quality to it? I don't know.
I think so. My voice is a little, no, but I think so. It is very different. Melanie, like in particular, and it was so nice because I think one of the first things that you said to me, like after when we were discussing it, and like at rehearsals, you're like, I know what you're going through because I am an actor and I've done scenes like this. I know that she knows the challenges and like what you're feeling. So it's like immediately that makes you feel so safe with someone because I felt like she's always gonna protect me, and also I could go up to her at any time and be like, oh, I feel weird, or I feel, and she would understand because she's been in that position. So that was something. Yeah, it was very clear, and she's like such an anchor for this movie, just like such a leader of the set, and watching her, and yeah, because like scenes were tough. Like we had a lot. It wasn't like not a comedy or anything. So it was.
We can't get happy. Gritty suspense films. It's like really, this is what we love here. I mean, we love comedies too, but like to dig into it, it's very satisfying for us, for sure.
Melanie's the whole package. She's a writer, director, actor, and you feel that coming in. We feel very supportive to adjust the material, to listen to each other, to listen to the day, to throw everything out, to build something new. It was a very collaborative experience. And to your question, it is different to work with an actor who's a director because they've been in the trenches, they've been in the hole, they know how to troubleshoot. And she's such an instinctual artist. She lent us a lot of opportunity to dig into that.
Go ahead.
Hi, this is for Melanie. So I know this movie was based on a book, but did you draw inspiration from any other movie?
No? Should I? No, I wrote my French DP. I did all my movies with him, and then we arrived in Savannah, and then we just like locked the door for like a few days, and we only researched on pictures. We were working with pictures more than movies. Movies just like there is so many ways to obviously prepare a movie, but I don't know. I felt like a sort of story like this exists so many times already, like the road trip with like the bad guys and then someone who's escaped from. And I was like, I was scared of watching all those movies and being like, okay, this is how I'm gonna do it. I think we really wanted to make something French with such an American story, also like to mix that. So I was just like, I wanted to make that movie as a French director who would be like, just like, oh, I love that car, and the light is so much better here, and actors are so amazing. But I didn't want to change my vision, so I guess watching so many movies or references would have been like too. That's the end of my.
It was Monsters University, right?
A lot from side joke, guys.
Thank you. Next question.
This is a question for Melanie. The scene where Ben Foster escapes near the end, was that all done in one take?
Yeah, that's just a single shot. That was a dance. We rehearsed for like a day, which was not crazy to have just only one day, and then we literally like imagine that shot as a dance. He was just dancing with the steady camera, and then we just like. So many things was happening, and then had fun, I think.
Yeah, it was a blood dance.
Hi, so Ellie talked a little bit about your working relationship with Melanie, but how about your development of your character with Ben, as you see a lot in the movie?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Ben and I, we really got along very, very well. And I like trying to remember, because we didn't have we didn't have a lot of rehearsal really together. I don't think we did. We had nothing. Yeah, you were like downstairs. We were staying in the same hotel in Savannah, and you like texted. You're like, oh, like maybe we should meet before our first day, like possibly. So we're like, oh, okay. Like he's downstairs in the lobby. I'm like, all right, I'll go. Like, you know, sit down there, and we talked. And honestly, but that like conversation. Really, yeah, that's all we needed, and it like we knew, you know, we had the story going into it, and but I don't know, like, yeah, Ben and I really got along very well, and we felt really comfortable together. Yeah, I know there's not much.
He's my buddy.
Yeah, yeah, we're buddies.
Thank you.
I wanted to comment on some tremendous performances, and I really appreciated some in the shots. Did you want to talk about some of the hurricane scenes? Was it a real hurricane? Was that going on?
The storm. No, we didn't have any storm. The bridge was like with a big fan and then fake rain, and then that was actually a pretty day that day. The sky, not even like wind. So very tricky.
That's the magic of cinema.
Hi.
Not a question.
Hey.
A comment.
Nancy.
I'm a little older and I'm a little plumper, and I'm not always treated well on movie sets. I was treated so beautifully on your set, and everyone was so wonderful, and you commanded that huge production just with such strength, and everybody knew that it came down to you. And another thing, so anyway, blown away. I've been an acting coach for 30 years, and one of my quotes is, if you want to move the audience, you have to be able to move yourself. And you guys, Ben, oh my God. Elle, this is going to take you into a whole new, both of you. You moved me so deeply, thank you. It's been an honor, thank you.
Hi, so first of all, I loved you as Madame Mew in Inglourious Basterds. That's like one of my favorite performances, and I fucking love that name, by the way. So I'm just wondering, since you work with one of the great directors, Quentin Tarantino, is there any advice, directing advice that you took from him while you were on that set for your debut?
Advice, not weirdly, but I'm very close to Mike Mills, another director from Berkeley. I did a movie called Beginners, and he was just shooting a movie with Elle. And I'm always sending him like, my stuff, my movies, my ideas, and we're sharing so many things. And it's funny because I called him, and so I'm not going to talk about him, sorry. And then because I sent an email to Mike, and I said like, I want to work with Elle Fanning. Do you have something to say? And he was like, oh, she's just a kitten, so cute, and you both gonna be like best friend ever. And I'm so excited for you guys. but Quentin is just like making very different movies, obviously. So I don't know. He didn't give me any advices, but he gave me, the energy of wanting to make movies, and also like wanting to be passionate. I'm very passionate about my work. I think we are just so lucky. So thanks for, because it's great to make movies, but it's better to have an audience. Because we are making movies for you guys. So, yeah, he's a very passionate director. That's the only, big and important things he can teach them.
Well, thank you. This was a thrill for us. This was a world premiere.
We're gonna make the movies now. Today.
This was really a thrill for us. We were so happy that you came.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.